Hi, I'm Nelson Sparks, founder and CEO of Collateral Growth. And this is the 5 things BitFo webinar, right? What are 5 things BitFo, you ask, right? Well, it's the 5 things that you should do before you ever pay for ads. And this includes taking our course, right? Like before you ever pay for any courses, before you ever pay for, anything reflected to advertising your business online, whether it be on social, Google Ads, anything along those lines, you need to make sure that you have the proper foundation. And that's what this webinar is completely about. Right now, I've managed hundreds of accounts over my years and probably built thousands of them through working with Google and through various agencies, and then running also Collateral Growth. And the one thing that a lot of people miss is that fundamental, just the free things and easy things that you can do that really give you a leg up and get you even just on the right track when actually getting your website found online. Right? So that's why I wanted to create this webinar for you. And if you'll stick with me through the entire webinar, I got a special gift just for you, where I actually give you really a little bit more insight, actually an in-depth look into some of the programs that Collateral Growth has that we can help you kind of attain a better understanding of digital marketing, whether or not you're a small business owner or a startup, or you're just getting into PPC. We have a course that will help elevate your skills and really accelerate you down the path and really give you the skill sets where you can do one of two things. Either go out there and be successful on your own, either growing your own business or helping to manage other businesses. Or if you own your business and you're just too busy, but you need to get online and you don't have the time to invest in learning the stuff, then it's at least going to give you the proper foundations where you can actually understand and go to a marketing agency and not get taken advantage of. So, but before we even get down that road, right, the first thing that we really need to do is we got to really set our foundation up for getting online. And the first thing that we do is we create a Google account. Now, like I said earlier, I've worked for Google in the past here at the ETO division in Phoenix, and then we've also worked, through several agencies and ran Collateral Growth for the past 2 or 3 years as well. So, I do have an affinity towards Google, but I guarantee you that the reason why I tell you this is the first thing you need to do is because they are literally the backbone of the internet, right? They operate the 2 largest sites on the internet, Google and then YouTube, as far as traffic per volume. If you want to have any sort of presence online, any organic nature, right, their organic listings dominate all the markets as well. So the first and foremost way that you can get on Google is actually by creating a Google account, because you're going to have to do the next step, which is going to get you found on there, right? So the first thing is create your Google account. And I've actually included some videos in here as part of this training, just for sticking with me, that we're going to actually walk you how to do each one of these steps, okay? So you're going to first create that Google account. Really, it's just creating a Google email, okay? The next thing you're going to do is go down and actually create a Webmaster Tools account. Now, Webmaster Tools is Google's infrastructure for, or reporting center for, organic search, right? It's how they verify sites that they let on the search network. It's how they index sites. It's how you identify your site to even be indexed to be listed on Google search. So these are incredibly important if you ever want to have organic listings, even if you're not going to pay for Google ads on there. If you want to have an organic listing or do anything with a Google Analytics or Google My Business page, you have to have your site verified. So that first thing that you're going to do after creating that Google account is create a Webmaster Tools account and verify your website. Now, as part of that doing, there's also websites for Bing Webmaster Tools. There's one for there's Yandex, which is the Russian place, and Baidu, which is the Chinese one, and there's also one for Yahoo as well. So the reason why I tell you to go ahead and create the Google one first is because in all of those as well, they actually have an import feature where all you have to do is, as long as you're verified within Webmaster Tools, you'll be able to actually just import your information into the Bing or other Yandex ones, where you can actually just, save a lot of time having to post any additional code on your website. Okay. Now, the third thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a Google My Business page, right? Google My Business there's 2 things that Google My Business does for you, right? It gives you a directory listing on Google Maps listing, and it also gives you a nice little other web page almost, where you can actually show your hours, all your business information. You can show consumer reviews, which are great for your SEO. And they also put a lot of pictures about your video or about your business, right? Who works for your business? What does it look like in your business? If you're a bar or restaurant, something to that effect. It's always great to see the atmosphere, right? If you're a service industry, I've known a lot of businesses, just HVAC repair, locksmith, even garage door repair, a lot of those service industries, they've literally operated their business solely on Google My Business page, okay? So this is definitely a true foundational part of getting your website really found online, because this is the largest directory on the net, bar none. Okay, so getting your name listed on Google and getting your site registered on there is the easiest, basically, possible way to get exposure to a mass amount of audience looking for businesses like yours. Okay. Now, again, we can talk about that in the Collateral Growth course. In our Google Ads Accelerator course, we actually talk about utilizing Google My Business with some of the campaigns. But before you ever even get to advertising, right, what happens if you make a conversion on your website right now? Right? Or you get somebody that makes you a phone call and they say they found you online, right? Do you know how they found you? Like where they came from, what traffic source, or did they just magically, go to the white pages and, scroll through massive amounts of numbers? Now, the latter is probably not very likely, right? So the reality of it is you need to be able to understand where and when people interact with your site. And sure, you're going to see that through Webmaster tools. It's going to give you a lot of organic information about what searches you showed up for and so on. But the reality of it is it doesn't give you any information of what happens after they've clicked on your ad on any one of these tools, like if they click on an organic listing. Right? That's what Google Analytics does. It shows you and maps the behaviors of consumers once they actually get to your website. And again, just for sticking with me, I've got a really special gift that's going to really give you a true insight into what one of our courses looks like, just for sticking through this with me, okay? So Google Analytics, as I've said, it's really the foundation of tracking. It's kind of that old adage, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, does it really make a sound? Well, that's where Google Analytics really comes in. It's going to tell you when, where, and how far that tree fell, basically how long they hang around, how long it took them to cut it up before they actually took it home and converted on your website, right? So the fifth and final thing, I know we've been kind of talking a lot about Google up in here, but is the inclusion of these social networks, right? And we've included, as part of a gift, as down below here, basically the 5 social networks that you should really join as a small business, even a startup, even if you're just doing a service business or you're a counselor or something like that, where you're just operating as a single person entity, right? Social networks are incredibly important to help give you that social validation, right? All of these components play through that entire funnel, right? There's a little funnel up here that says, awareness, you got your research, you got your trust, and your buy, right? This is the typical flow of a customer. And having this foundation set up for your website will do 2 things, right? It's going to give you the proper position points at each one of these stages. When they gain the awareness of your product, when they're doing research, they can still find you on organic listings. They'll be able to validate you through social listings, right? And they can just verify your business is even real through your Google My Business page. And they're going to build that trust through that process as they're able to hit one of those touch points as well, when they're ultimately going to be able to buy from you at the end of the day. Right? So that's why all of this foundation is vital whenever you're setting up your website online and you're getting your business starting to kind of get some traction online. So that's why these are the 5 things before you should ever pay for ads. Now, just for sticking with me, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me as we go through this so much, I've actually included as part of this Google Analytics course is the full Google Analytics course from the Collateral Growth Google Ads Accelerator program, right? It's our $2,000 course, right, for the full course that we basically teach you everything from start to finish within Google, from creating your first account all the way through remarketing, through tracking all that, setting up all the goals and filters, even teach you how to use Editor, and then we dive into even Google Analytics more in depth. We dive into the shopping, we dive into Google Display Network and shopping and YouTube and all the ancillary tools that really make my life a hell of a lot easier when I'm using it, such as Google Tag Manager, Google AdWords Editor, and then we also dive into some advanced tools such as Optimizer and even the Data Studio. If you're going to utilize Google in any sort of your agency capacities, the Data Studio is an amazing tool for you to be able to create some visually appealing reports that are really going to wow your clients. So if you like what you learned today and you like Collateral Growth here and interact with us, go ahead and like us down below, okay? Subscribe to our channel. I've also put a link down in here for our free Facebook group. It's the Collateral Growth Ads Income Accelerator group on Facebook as well. Join us there. We've got a lot of content we share out. And then as well, down below, okay, there's a Click to Kajabi course. I've included the entire course here for you. So you've got Google Ads account videos, how to set that Google accounts up, right? Your Webmaster tools video as well. It's going to teach you how to basically set the Webmaster tools up, verify your site, even utilize the reporting in there to understand your organic positioning. It's also going to give you this full setup on Google My Business, where I walk you through each stage of putting pictures on there, how to put your information on there, how to fully basically make your business appear on a Google directory. Also a secret little kind of bonus material in there where I give you a tool to list yourself on up to 5,000 additional directories to give you some really, really cheap SEO. Then I'm going to take you through the entire Google Analytics course, right? This is the entire course from Collateral Growth, Google Ads Income Accelerator program. This isn't just an excerpt, right? This is the entire Google Analytics course, right? This is one of the foundations of Google and online marketing, is being able to track and figure out when, where, and how people are marketing. We talk about in the Collateral Growth Google Ads Accelerator program, whether or not we want the rifle or the shotgun method, right? Whether you want to blast the whole world and worry about who you might get in front of and hopefully they'll remember you, or are you going to be able to target that person with a rifle and shoot directly at them and get them right when and where they have their credit card in hand when they're able to buy, right? We've talked about some of the funnels, and that's kind of the stuff that we talk about in the Collateral Growth Google Ads Income Accelerator program, is really just how to basically do digital marketing from a startup to small business point. We're not using a whole lot of like crazy billion-dollar case studies. We're putting stuff that's in realistic terms for small businesses' income, small businesses' balance sheets, basically, right? So go ahead and subscribe down below, right, to our channel. Access your free gift, the Kajabi course, and pay close attention. Like I said, this Google Ads or Google Analytics course, it's literally verbatim from our $2,000 Google Ads Income Accelerator course, okay? So I hope this is valuable to you. Put it into action. Like I said, keep interacting with me. Join me in our Facebook group. I appreciate you so much, again, taking time and spending some time with me and walking through, setting up a proper foundation so whenever you do start paying for ads, you get the best conversion rate. You start off with your foot ahead of the game, right? And you're always lowering your costs while increasing your ROI. Hope we're putting more money back in your pocket. Again, subscribe below and also interact with me on my social as well. They're down below too. Thanks a lot for sticking with me. Have a good weekend.